Hello, this is Todd Boyan, and what I want to talk to you about today is how struggle and overwhelm sometimes make us feel like God isn't even around or present for us. We just feel like we're alone. And I don't know if you've ever felt that. I know I sure have, and it's horrible. And it's why I wanted to talk to you. I mean, really, for the last 4 or 5 days, I've actually been in a scenario like that. I had a ton of things going on. I had some trips I had to do. I had some family events. In the middle of that, for a variety of reasons, I just felt very, very far away from God. And it was horrible. And I don't love it when I experience that. I imagine you don't either. And I wanted to come and share a couple of ideas that have helped me, not just in the last couple of days, but over time that have just really helped me when I've been in a situation like that because who wants to be there? And I hope they can be helpful to you. So here's a couple of things that I would like to share with you. So first off, it's a lie. You know, you got to understand we really have an enemy, and that enemy's motivation is to isolate us from God. That's really what he wants. And it's a lie. God is not distant. He's not indifferent. He's not frustrated with us and abandoning us. David said in the Psalm that even if we made our bed in hell, still God would find us there. He would be there with us. And he's proven that over and over and over again. So the very first thing that we have to do is have the wherewithal to say, you know what? This isn't God. This isn't me. This isn't the situation. This is this enemy who's trying to isolate me from God and trying to make me feel like God isn't around and isn't present for me. And when we do that, just immediately we're free to start to look at other possibilities. But sometimes it's still really difficult, you know? And I had this time, and again, like I said, I had to go on with my day and I had to keep doing these things. And it was like, where is God? Where is he in the middle of this moment? It's hard to feel his presence sometimes. And I ran into a friend over the weekend, and he was telling me that he was thinking about how you might get a hug from somebody, from a person. And when we have these moments where we feel like God's not around, we reach out to hug him, but we can't seem to hug him. And he was thinking about this meme. You might have seen it where there's a man or a woman and the Bible is kind of reaching out as a person and hugging around them. And his idea was what I'm sharing in the second point here, that when we look at God's word, we can find all kinds of ways where we can see and remember him and feel that hug from him. And so that was his idea. And our pastor was sharing this weekend this wonderful idea that when you think of the name of God in the Bible, when you think of Yahweh, which is really that word abbreviated without without the vowels, so it's just you know the four characters there, the consonants. Those three characters that make up his name are silent in Hebrew, and they were very reverent, and they would just whisper those letters because they were so silent. And the idea that some of the rabbis used to say was that God was trying to make it simple for us, that even maybe with a deathbed whisper, we would be breathing the name of God. And so that would be a way in which we would say his name and he would be there for us. So imagine when we're actually consciously praying, we're consciously breathing, as in meditation. And when you're doing that, even if you weren't conscious about it, we continue to breathe. Even when we think God is far from us, right? Our blood still pumps through our veins. And so when we can meditate on that consciously and attach that to him, we can remember that he is present with us, continuing to make that blood go through us, to that make that breath still give us life. And so when everything feels impossible, when you feel just so alone and feels like there's no way out, he's still making you breathe. He's still giving you blood. and he's still keeping the life in you. And you will get past this moment. But then also, besides praying to him and reaching out to him that way or going into his word, we can lean on his people. And they can actually hug us and walk through us if we just accept that we can do that. I mean, if we don't ask, how are they going to do it? And what Satan wants to do is keep us isolated so we don't ask. So go ahead and ask anyway. So there's one other thing that has happened for me over time, and I don't know if you've had this experience, but I have found that sometimes when I'm feeling something, and especially if it's out of character for me, like it's not my normal way to feel, I will find, I'll be like, what is going on, God? Where are you? What is going on in this? And then I will find that a person in my life is experiencing those feelings, but maybe at a way deeper level than me. Maybe they're going through something way more substantial. I'm just getting a small taste of it. And I found that sometimes God is giving us just a little taste of that for a purpose. And then that purpose is to see that others around us may be experiencing it, may be deeper, because we might just be going about our day and we're feeling great and we're doing stuff, and we might just run right past their need. And so just to keep us from doing that, he'll give us a little taste of it. And when we surrender to that and serve that brother or sister out of this deeper compassion because God's given us a little taste of it, then immediately we begin to sense it. And of course, oftentimes they begin to sense that God does really care for them because somebody has stepped into their world and given them a little taste of that. So hopefully you can see that these are a couple of ways that you can better handle these moments where you feel like God is far from you. And if you'll just try some of them, if you'll just open the word and find some of these comforting scriptures, or find a comforting brother or sister who can walk with you and just pour your heart out to them and let them love on you with an environment of love and grace to you. If you'll just breathe out God's name and just say, I know that in every breath you're there with me. If you'll just take and surrender to the fact that maybe it is a little bit of a struggle, but look around and go and serve somebody else who's really struggling even more, then you'll find in no time at all, you're feeling God's presence deep and well, and everything will be okay. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please tell me if it has, and if I can help you in some other way. If you're struggling with something and you're like, hey, how do I deal with this, Todd? I'd love to pray with you about it. I'd love to see if I can comfort you with it. You reach out, set up some time with me. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. If you don't feel like you can talk to anybody else, you can certainly talk to me. And I hope you have a great day. Take care.